Life Rhythms with Ryan Skyy. Observing the world around me, looking inward, trying to make sense of it all. Welcome to Life Rhythms Radio Show. I am your host, Ryan Skyy. This episode is brought to you by Mixillery.com. I'm excited to have Mixillery on as a sponsor personally because Mixillery is all about connecting people who are looking to hire a remixer. It's a platform that you can use to find and hire someone to remix your song. And why that's so important is because anybody can go online and you can search music producers, you can search for remixers, you can hire somebody, but it's like, how much do you pay them and who should you hire and what genre should you choose? And with option overload, it can be a little overwhelming to figure out what's the best use of your money. Because what it comes down to is remixes are marketing tools. A remix of a record will get that record in front of a larger audience. It will get that record played in venues and areas like the gym or a club or a car or a fitness studio, places that maybe your original song may not be appropriate for. So it is an important marketing tool, but then who remixes it is important because first of all, the quality of the remix, and also maybe they have their own audience that's going to discover this remix. Maybe they have a following. Maybe they have a radio show. Maybe they tour and they'll be playing it out live. These are all sorts of things that are important. So Mixillery is a service that will help match you with the best remixer for your budget. So check out Mixillery.com for more information on this. Life Rhythms is a radio show that revolves around my personal growth journey. As a DJ and a producer, I spend a lot of my time observing the world around me, looking inward, trying to make sense of it all. I've been doing it in song form, and now I do it with my radio show. Each episode of Life Rhythms, we feature one guest and one song or album, and I choose topics related to the music for us to talk about on that episode. I'm excited for today because I've got in the studio with me Kaleena Zanders. She's a DJ and a producer, singer-songwriter. She's been featured on a lot of dance records, but now she's stepping into her own artist project. And I've been a fan since I started DJing. And Kaleena has a new EP out called PATCHWORK. And we played a little bit of that EP coming into this. But in this episode, we're going to talk about the EP, the songs. We're going to talk about the inspiration behind it. We're going to talk about, Kaleena, your experience, being like a female in a male-dominated industry. What's that like? And kind of like the way you've come up as a vocalist, as a songwriter, as a DJ, and coming of age personally and professionally, all of those things we're going to talk about. We're going to take a quick break, but when we get back, we're going to dive into the music with Kaleena right after this on Adobe Radio. Welcome back to Life Rhythms Radio Show. I'm your host, Ryan Skyy. I've got my guest with me in the studio today, Kaleena Zanders, and we just played a little bit from her new EP, PATCHWORK, coming into this segment. Welcome to Adobe.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm good. You're a regular now, a little bit.
Yeah, well, yeah. I guess so, am I?
Yeah.
Oh, yes, I am. Yeah.
Right?
Yes, I am pretty much a regular, but I haven't been with you, so.
Haven't been with me,
yeah.
And I'm excited to have you on today because I want to talk about your EP. Adobe listeners, I want to give you a little context about Kaleena. So Kaleena is a vocalist, singer, songwriter, DJ, and in the dance world, Kaleena she's that girl. Like,
hey, okay, I'll take it.
She's that girl.
I'll take it.
If I am a DJ and a producer, but just in general in the industry, just to give you an idea, if I'm wanting that like classic soaring vocal, that soulful vocal in a track, if I want that like 90s vibe, or if I want that like CNC Music Factory, and Kaleena's the girl to have on that track.
Ow.
Right?
Now that I'm moving like clearly into like being more of an artist, I think I was that girl. Now I'm doing that girl for me. You know what I mean?
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know what I mean?
No.
So basically, like, I've lent my vocals to so many different tracks and that have blown up and blown other DJs up.
Yeah.
So now I'm just kind of putting that same energy into my own project and making sure that I can, have the fruits of what I've been doing and, all these years. So
I get this. You're stepping in.
Yeah.
That's interesting. Last season we had Ray on the show, and it was a similar kind of a thing where she had featured a lot, wrote a lot, but then she was coming out with her own album as an artist and really coming into her own. And I'm happy to see that with you.
Yeah,
for many reasons.
Yeah, it feels really good. It's very empowering, and it's kind of one of those things where you feel like, why wasn't I doing this all along? However, this is like the stepping stones before added up to this moment, and it makes it like so much better, honestly.
Yeah. And I would love to learn about your experience in the industry. As a female, as a DJ, what's that been like?
So it's interesting. So I don't know. It's hard to gauge whether it's like because I'm a female or, all these different things. All I know is that my position usually as a vocalist, you kind of get the short end of the stick in the community. And not to say that it hasn't been amazing, because it's great to like be a part of these amazing tracks. And, thankfully early on in my dance career, I was able to perform with mostly every DJ that I did a track with. So it kind of helped me create a name. But there's so many artists and top liners who don't do that. So it's like they kind of get like washed away. You know what I mean? They're just kind of like, you can kind of feel used,
Yeah.
And it's not necessarily anyone's fault per se. It's just like kind of the conditions and the setup. And I think like, I think there's an active movement to change that. Not in a way that's like creating a war or any discord. It's just like, hey, like as a vocalist, we would like to have, the opportunity to have a wonderful career just as any DJ would, Yeah.
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 Did you have to make a conscious effort? Like, I'm no longer going to go down a certain path. I'm going to, right? And you kind of had to put your foot down.
Hard. Yes.
And then also I imagine you've already set a precedent with people.
Yeah. Yes.
Right? As the writer and the vocalist, but then you have to kind of change their perception or
it's actually really hard, because you do become wonderful friends with all these people in the dance community. They become like your sisters, your brothers, everybody, And when you do step out of that role of like, hey, like I can't feature on your track right now. I'm building my own thing or whatever. Like it's not heartbreaking, but it's like it's sensitive, because it's also the way that you've been making money too, and the way that like I don't know, just like people like you, it like kind of plays with your psyche for a while. But if you can get past that time or that moment, then like you really start to see, like I don't know, you start to see the difference, the change. Also, DJing has really helped me step in front as well, so that. I think that probably was the catalyst for me, for people seeing me as an artist and not like she's just a feature vocalist, Yeah.
Yeah. You have to see yourself the way you want to be, and then you start
to it.
Yeah, you have to.
It's so hard.
Yeah, I've experienced that DJing because I started out in the local scene, and it got to a point where I knew consciously I was like, I need to. If I don't want to be a local DJ my whole life, then I need to stop being a local DJ. Right?
Totally.
Like I need to just like I have to stop saying yes to local gigs. Yes. I can only travel, and I kind of lost some money for a while.
Yeah.
But I knew it would be worth it.
Yeah, you do.
Because you have to step out.
Yeah, it's hard. Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially if you're comfortable where you're at, like, but it's worth it. I don't know. It's worth, for me, it has been worth it. I can't say it's for everybody, but I'm thankful that the universe, whatever that is supposed to happen, has happened.
Yeah, because no one's going to come along and be like, hi, Kaleena. Yeah. You've been a feeted vocalist, but now we're going to just like you're going to headline a festival now, and you're going to DJ, and you're the main artist. Like you have to like take that for yourself, kind of, right?
You have to change it. You have to turn your own tide,
Yeah. How long of a process has this been? And how long have you been DJing right now?
I've been DJing for about 2 years.
Okay.
Yeah. And honestly, it's not that hard to DJ. I think like the actual DJing part, I think what's hard is creating, right? I mean, like,
not that hard.
That part's not hard. It's like, that's
a lot of knobs, a lot of buttons.
A lot of knobs and buttons.
But you have the musicality too, which is
right.
Huge.
I've been doing music for, since I was a teenager. So it's like, I know music, I know how to like learn something. But I think what's hard is creating your voice, like what kind of music you're going to play.
Yeah.
That what you just said, like, are you going to play local gigs? Are you going to shoot for festivals? You know what I mean? Or clubs or whatever. So I think navigating that and like creating who you are as an artist is the hardest part.
Yeah. And then still releasing music on the side, still writing on the side.
Oh yeah. Yes, absolutely releasing music. So I'm in a deal with Helix.
Yeah.
And that has really helped me shape like who I am. You know what I mean? I'm like forced, like I can't collab as much anymore. You know what I mean? I am forced to like look at myself and like, what do you like? You know?
In what way?
So the deal is like, you know, is for me to release Kaleena Zanders music, you know?
Yeah.
So, or collabs, but Kaleena Zanders, like with under the Kaleena Zanders umbrella, you know, her project. So it's just forced me to like narrow in on what style of music within the subgenres of dance, you know what I mean, that I want to do. And I still haven't quite found that out. However, the songs that I do, because I also come from like more of a pop background, you know, I love pop music. I'm obsessed with it since I was little. And I started to write like that. Like Katy Perry was like one of my favorite like writer artists at the time when I was younger. And along with like Jill Scott and, you know, Shaka Khan and Prince and all the basically iconic people.
Right.
Yeah. So, you know, that was hard for me coming into dance, like trying to navigate a space where they want you to be very small and write less and have hooks.
Yeah.
You know? So now that I'm like,
and big voice.
And a big voice. And yeah.
So like big writing, big voice.
Yeah. So that's it was kind of a like a, can I say an F word? It was like a
yeah, you can swear
a mind fuck, you know?
Yeah.
Because you know, I have all this talent and I had to minimize it. So within dance music though, what I learned is within my own project, I'm able to say a lot, give like, you know, a verse and then give hooks. You know what I mean? So I still kind of apply that like pop sensibility, but like I definitely, because I have old soul, I know how to like blend in like the 90s house vibe too. You know?
Yeah. I really love this track you're on, having started out as a singer-songwriter, writing and featuring on other songs, but then now that you're stepping into your own project, you have these relationships that you've built over the years that you can, because some of your first DJ gigs right away was opening for
I was opening for who was it? Was it
Sunburn?
No. First DJ gig, it was oh my god, there was the girls. Not Icon. It's not Icon.
Oh.
Nervo.
Yeah. Okay. Nervo.
Yes, that was like the first one. That was crazy. That was at Avalon.
And you performed at Coachella, EDC, Snow Globe.
Oh yeah, those I performed with. Yeah, I performed with Sunburn and AC Slater at Coachella, having all that like prior performance in dance. You know what I mean? Like that was extremely helpful, and also so like I felt like DJing was a natural like progression. You know?
Yeah. So the industry is changing, but we're still in a boys' club.
Oh,
right?
Yeah.
We're still in like kind of like are we still in like a European white straight boys' club?
I think without being not at all like a hater, but like like the John Summits of the world, you know. I'm just gonna say him as an example. You know, that culture very much leads, you know, the community, and you know they have the biggest voice, and they're put on a platform.
I'm a little closer.
They're put on a platform, all of that. But I mean, no buts. I mean, that's just it is what it is. And then there's other mini versions of that in different, you know, pods, I suppose. So, but I think since the pandemic and leading up to the pandemic, there had been a huge push to have more women, more LGBTQIA people. Everybody's been. I do see the diversity happening a lot, actually. Yeah. It's just like the power is still within, like, you know, the bros, you know.
Yeah, and I do see it changing. I have this conversations on the side about gay DJs and kind of like the circuit music. Yeah. And that there's not a lot of gay male DJs being featured at these festivals, and I don't think it's because they don't want to book gay DJs. I think it's because the sound had that circuit sound. Listeners, the gay, I guess you would say like gay dance festivals, we call it kind of circuit music. Oh yeah. It's kind of like the term for it. Yeah. Not official, but like slang. Like you
just like play everything or something?
It's slang, but it's circuit music is it's like pots and pans. It's Latin influenced house music. Okay, yeah. But the sound hasn't evolved in 20, 30 years. And it started out as like a safe space that gay men would go to party, but now it's pretty much like people go for the boys and to hook up. They don't really go for the music. And so all the DJs sound the same. They all play the same sound. It's to me, it's cheesy, and it has not kept up with. As the mainstream dance world has evolved and music production and technology we've been pushing it forward, even songwriting, working with like pop songwriters and blending.
Yeah.
Like the gay communities, like invented house music, was at the forefront, but did not keep up once it became adopted by mainstream. Has it really? And so when I don't see like gay DJs headlining, I on the side I talk about like I don't think it's because they don't want to book. I think it's because the sound hasn't evolved and they just haven't found many that are relevant for the festival. True. It's just business. Like they want to sell tickets.
It's art. It's kind of artistry first. Artistry first. You know what I mean? Like in a lot of ways, like no one's thinking, oh, that's a gay DJ. It's like if you look cool and you play really
the music
good, like selections, then people are gonna book you so long as you have the right team to help you push forward. Yeah. But like I mean, I wouldn't say that I wouldn't say that you're right. Basically, you're right. Like some of the gay culture has not evolved as much into certain spaces. I see a little bit of change. Just being out there, but it's still not as much that needs to happen. It would take more gay people to curate a sound. Just as much as any other DJ would. Yes,
I'm really like this is important to me. I want to push this movement forward. I want to see the change. Because there's a couple things happening. You've got the promoters that are older. Generation. Booking the same sound. They're not really motivated to change the sound. And I've actually there's a DJ, I won't say his name, but he's I would say one of the main circuit DJs that him and I have talked about. And he said like he has tried to modernize his sound and put out a different sound. And he at that time got blacklisted from the festivals. And he had to go back to the sound, and his opinion was like he's saying the promoters are being smart. They kind of, in his opinion, they feel like if all the DJs sound the same, we don't have to pay more. Because if we start letting the gay DJs like have their own sound and their own music and their own thing, then you have to pay accordingly. But like, oh, if you don't want to do the gig for $500, like I'll just have this person or that person because the boys are coming for the sound. But like you're saying, it is changing because those same boys that are coming for the sound, they're going to EDC. They're going to Ultra.
They are.
They love Fred again. They love Skrillex. So like I do see a movement happening that's going to eventually force these promoters to start booking other DJs.
For sure.
And also to encourage other producers and DJs to come on, come with us. You can do it.
It also takes some of the gay like producers and DJs that are out already, and it takes them to actually speak up a little bit more too. Like I know some gay DJs, mostly the men, honestly, mostly the men, like gay men, they're usually a little bit quiet about their gayness, because of the perception that they won't like get booked.
I hid myself for the first half of my career. It's only more recently that I've been more open about it. I was like, well, you're already like a huge a huge DJ. Like, I wish that these people would be a little bit more vocal about them being gay because it would help. You know what I mean? It would help the community. But I mean, for gay men, I mean, for women, I think that like women, lesbians, I think there's like still a cool factor. Like I've seen a lot of like lesbians pop up and like, I don't know, they just look cool, and so it's like, and it's, so they've got they got the swag.
So, and I'm a lesbian, so that's cool. But I've seen, especially from like Europe and like a lot of overseas, they really embrace like kind of any style of DJ, meaning like any type of person and their sexual preferences.
Even seeing like Honey Dijon come up.
Dijon, Like, another person that comes to mind is I Jordan, Sherelle. Like they're all overseas, and it's like I can see like they're kind of helping bridge the gap over here as well. So I don't know. I think it's like bubbling, but I think it will take some time for any LGBTQ artist to really have a strong voice, like a John Summit. Like John Summit could say anything. He could, and any person like that. Chris Lake. I'm literally naming white bros. They all can totally say whatever, and people will support them. They will do anything, and so I think that it's going to be a long while before, any LGBT QIA artist is put on a pedestal in a way that they are.
How do you feel how do you feel you're being treated? Like when you walk into a room and when you're at the festivals and stuff, like what's the experience like
Oh,
right
it's
now?
great, honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah. I usually see a lot of smiling faces, and everyone's usually really hyped to see my set because they know that I sing as well. So,
Yeah. You sing during the sets?
Yeah.
How much of the set are you singing?
Like 80%. Yeah.
Damn,
Yeah.
really?
Yeah.
How long of a set would it be?
I mean,
it obviously varies.
I've been playing an hour or an hour and a half. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's almost like I'm a hype woman too. It's like I'm my own hype woman, and then I'll go in and out of singing because like I don't play every single one of my tracks. I play.
Well, your discography's pretty large, right? I don't think you could. I'd be like, damn, we'll be here all day.
I mean, I could.
Yeah.
But I love so many different styles, and like a lot of my, even though I have a big catalog, I don't have some of the songs that I'd like to play now. So I'll like I'll basically sing over like there's a song by what's it called what's the song? If you really love somebody, if you really love someone, I don't know the singer on it because it's I can't say their names, Elias and whatever. Anyway, there's a song called If You Really Love Somebody.
The Fur?
No, it's Elias. It's two guys. And
it's not Elias and Fur?
It's hard to say their name.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, one is Elias and the last is B. Barrentos or something.
Okay.
Anyway, I probably butchered that. But that song, like I love to sing over it. And yesterday, or was over the weekend, they played my set on Sirius XM from Splash House. And I heard myself singing. And like that song, and I was tripping out because I've never heard myself like live on the radio singing.
Oh, wow.
And I was like, whoa, I don't know. I was just like, wow. But anyway.
And you have 2 songs on the radio right now?
Yeah, and I have 2 songs. Yeah.
What songs are they?
In Your Eyes for my EP.
Yeah.
And then
we'll talk about that.
Yeah, the song with me and Anabel Englund. Yeah.
Anything for You.
Anything for You. That's right.
Yeah. Yeah, that one just came out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So they're both playing right now. That's you
crazy.
Get some rotation.
I know.
Is that a first for you? Having 2?
Yes. I think I really don't know, to be honest, because I think early on in my career when I was as a feature artist, I never really tapped into the radio stuff, and like people would show me, but I never like actually. I don't know. It's different when you're leading the project. You know what I mean? So,
are you tapping in intentionally? Is it just because of not just, but is it because of the team at Helix?
Oh no, everyone they tell me, like the manager will tell me what's going on.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, like literally, I got the text right now, and he's like, hey, you're back in the charts for the radio, and I was like, oh, okay,
yeah.
I try not to obsess over that because I think, in addition to it being amazing, it's also fleeting.
Yes,
and you like can't set up your foundation on having these charts go up and down because that's literally what they do. You can't like set up your self-worth on your Spotify numbers or like it's just like you would lose your mind. And I've seen artists lose their mind over numbers that go up and down all the time.
Yeah. What's your relationship like with setting goals and accomplishing goals, manifesting? What's your kind of a general vibe with that?
Yeah. So I don't know. Have you ever seen those little surveys of like I'm a manifesting generator or like all these different categories of manifesting that you could be?
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I'm the manifesting generator, whatever that means. And so I guess my process for like achieving things is, I think number one, by the grace of the universe, I'm here in this business, in dance music, and I have a wonderful talent. And then in addition to that, I try to create like as much clarity and space in my humanness, like whether it be like through meditation or actively paying attention to my thoughts that are, in my head. I've been in depressive modes. I've been all kinds of things, but like when you pay attention and like shift that, you can find even just a glimpse of like, happiness, hope, or something that like leads you closer to what you're like would like. And like visualization is really important. Writing down stuff, hiking, the sunlight. Like sunlight really brings you a lot of wonderful like energy. And I think that like those are all like really helpful things. And yeah, I mean, I think I kind of live in a generally a positive status, just kind of a knowing. I don't even know how I know.
I know too.
Yeah.
I know. I want to talk to you about this. Yeah, because you have an energy to you that to me feels like a kindred spirit, like this
yeah.
kindness, this warmth.
Thank you.
And I'm like, I definitely want to talk to her about that because I know about my own process. For me, it's like working on myself a lot.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
A lot. And I've noticed the more I've worked, and kind of like what you said, the more I've cleared away things and worked on things, the calmer my central nervous system is now. I notice things come to me a lot easier.
Oh, yeah.
Like so much easier.
Well, I mean, I just feel like we're all conduits, you know, for whatever. I mean, we're conduits for a lot of energy. And if you're not fine tuning your like little neurons and, you know, your brain activity and even through like health, you know, like working out or, you know, I go on a lot of different journeys with working out. I used to do heavy sports and, you know, that's a whole different type of thing. And then I was into yoga, whatever. So I think, you know, health and I'm not preaching it, but I'm just saying, you know, health and all these wonderful things that they say are great really help you manifest like amazing stuff.
Yeah. I was watching something the other day with, I go to Mosaic Church in Hollywood.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah.
I used to go.
Yeah.
Yeah, a long time ago.
And Pastor Irwin, he had posted something on Instagram that was saying about how kind of when you get into this state, that people like this, we kind of like, it's almost like they can get things done with less effort than the average person. And it almost kind of feels like cheating.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, but
it's not cheating.
You've worked so hard. You've worked hard.
I've worked so
I've worked really hard. I mean, are you kidding? Like I can
we need to highlight that.
Yeah. I can attest to like,
damn, yeah.
It might look cool on Instagram, but like, you know, I have definitely worked hard, not just like actually in the industry, but like myself, you know, like I went through a lot of like I was like depressed I moved to LA in I think 2006, and then I went through a whole dark age. You know? And I was like just really I couldn't see anything, you know. And I just like and I wasn't suicidal. I just was like existing, you know, and not really understand. I consider that to be a lot of shedding of my conditions.
Okay.
Because I did ask. I literally said and prayed out loud before I moved to LA.
When was this?
I moved to LA in 2006. So like before that, like in college and when I was at home, I just prayed that I would find clarity in my life. But I didn't know how the journey was gonna. But I like intentionally prayed because I felt like I was in trapped.
Yeah.
And
you felt trapped in your life where you were, or just
yes, like from like 16 to like 23. I felt like I had an awakening, but also just extremely just trapped. And I was like, I remember praying like out loud, I was like, I need to get out of here. I don't know how. But like my soul was like screaming.
Yeah.
You know, but also
where were you?
In San Jose.
San Jose.
Yeah.
Okay.
And also I coming out, being gay, that's that whole trial. Like
that's
a process.
That is, yeah.
Yeah. And I don't think even if you're living an okay life, like, like I had an okay life. I wasn't like in the dumps anywhere. You know what I'm saying? Like but people don't talk about, even if you're having on paper like a normal life, how the internal struggle of being gay is insane.
Yeah.
So I went through that, and I think I don't know, I just prayed really hard for clarity, and then went through the fucking like dark ages of learning and mustering up, I guess, my own sense of self.
Yeah. When you were praying, when you were in the dark ages and you were praying, what kinds of things did you do to work on yourself? And how did you know you were coming out of it? Like, were there any particular moments where you're like, yes, like I'm coming out of it. Things are starting to come together for me.
Wow. Yeah. Okay. So, I mean, I moved to LA, and then I like sold the car my mom bought me.
Okay.
Because just again, a shedding. Because I wanted to kind of live simply and understand like, how to survive like without, I guess, and this is kind of personal, but my mom wasn't really overbearing and controlling. Okay. And so I wanted to see what that was like to live without her like voice and influence, Yeah. So sorry, Mom. she's cool now, but it was really intense at the time. And I sold my car, got rid of like just like I don't know, things. You know, I think I read like a book called like The Simple Life or something. And I rode my bike for 2 years in LA, just like everywhere. Like I had a job in Santa Monica. I rode my bike out there, and just like I got into yoga and like eating vegetarian, stuff like that. Just literally like it's the LA way, but still things that really helped me like come out of or learn during those dark stages, you know, because I had a lot of depressive thoughts, you know, and that helped me. And I don't know when I saw the light at the end of the tunnel. That's a weird one because I feel even after learning these new tools, I still felt very lost still, you know?
Yeah.
I think.
Were you already working in dance or writing, or did you not even know you wanted to do this yet?
No, I definitely wasn't. I didn't get into dance music until 2015.
Okay.
So like proper. So before that, I mean, I knew I wanted to always do music, always.
That's when I started DJing. That's so funny.
Really?
Yeah.
So I always wanted to do music, but I imagined myself to be like a rock star. Like I wanted to be like Lenny Kravitz.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like that's what I was in before. I was in a rock band. So I didn't imagine I'd be doing this. Yeah.
Did you fall into this?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Dance music just kind of came, literally. My sunburn, or my friend, what's his name? Oh, Andrew, one of my best friends, he introduced me to Sunburn. And then I remember going over his house for like 30 minutes. I sang California, and then like within 8 months that like blew up.
California, that's the first track I heard you of.
Yeah.
That's the first of your tracks I used to play out.
Yeah.
And it's a remake of California Love.
Correct.
Right?
Yeah.
Tupac?
Yes.
Yeah.
So 2014 is when I recorded it, and then 2015 it just blew up, and then that's how I got into dance music.
Yeah. I play the Chris Lake remix.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
I love when he does California.
Yeah. That was. Yeah.
I was like, oh my God,
Yeah.
What is this? This is sick.
Chris Lake and Matroda. We can't forget Matroda.
Yeah.
Because he definitely had a huge part in that.
Yeah.
But yeah, so dance music was more of I didn't see it coming.
Yeah, you fell into it.
Yeah.
Okay, we're going to take a quick break. We're at the end of the segment.
Okay.
And when we get back, Adobe, we're going to go over the Patchwork EP with Kaleena.
Yes.
More into the music right after this on Adobe Radio. Welcome back to Life Rhythms Radio Show. I'm your host, Ryan Skyy. I'm back here with my guest, Kaleena Zanders. If you're just joining us, Adobe, Kaleena is a DJ, producer, singer, songwriter extraordinaire. And give you a little context, Insomniac had this to say about Kaleena. They said, armed with supernova vocal prowess and an explosive stage presence, Kaleena Zanders is one of the fastest emerging stars in music, earning comparisons to 90s house vocalists like CeCe Peniston and Robin S., and even Whitney Houston. Zanders' existence brings the genre back to its queer Black origins, giving passage to those who are sometimes unseen. Her songs usually pack a punch with social messages and an upbeat music.
That's right. Ooh, that's right. I just got chills.
Yeah. So we have you on the show. We're featuring your EP, Patchwork. We're going to get into the music shortly. We played a little bit from the EP coming into this, but first I have a segment for you.
Okay.
It's called The People's Perspective.
Okay.
So The People's Perspective, what we do is I drive rideshare and I pick up a passenger, random. It's not planned.
Okay.
I pick up a passenger and I ask them questions related to your music.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So this is a video of me picking up a passenger and asking him questions about, and
that's very cool.
Yeah. So I'm going to play this and we could talk about it.
Sure, yeah.
All right, here we go. Okay. So my guest this week on the show, she has an EP that we're featuring. Her name is Kaleena Zanders. One of the other songs on her album is called In Your Eyes. And she talks about, when I look deep in your eyes, I can see you're mine. So she's kind of like reading this person through their eyes. It's kind of like unspoken. And my question to you is, are you good at reading people?
I think it's all in the eye of the beholder, right? If you think people are going to be shitty, you're going to find shitty people. Or if you think people are going to be really good, you'll find a good group of people.
If I'm determined to like see someone for their best self, even if they're not acting right, do you think that kind of attitude, like people then step into their best selves? Or do you think they kind of just are always going to show up the way they show up?
think it's a bit of both. I think it's you create that environment around you. So if you're have a more open and warm environment, it allows people to do that. And if you're more closed off, people will probably be more closed off towards you. Over time, I think your true self comes out. Sometimes within a couple minutes, sometimes a year, sometimes a couple years. You can't really like keep yourself down for that long.
Yeah, in dating, you can only put your best self forward for about like 90 days, and then you really see the person after 90 days. Yeah.
That's awesome.
People's perspective.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah. What are your thoughts on that?
I mean, that was probably one of the best, like interpretations of In Your Eyes that I've ever heard. and it's like, you kind of hit it on the nail of the inspiration. Like, I can see your mind. It's like, yeah, I'm reading people, all the time.
Yeah.
And you have to, especially, when in the music industry, you have to read people 24/7. And even if I don't say anything, doesn't mean I'm not like collecting data.
Mm-hmm. Doesn't mean I'm watching.
Data.
Doesn't mean
your aura,
Yeah, taking it in. I was pleasantly surprised by his feedback because
I know.
Because I like go on these rides and I have planned questions and I have an idea in my mind like how I think they're going to respond. Mm-hmm. But he responded differently.
Yeah, he did.
Because I was kind of just expecting him to either say whether he was good or not at reading people. How does that go? But I did not think of people show up kind of how you show up. It can affect somebody.
Yeah, you are definitely a mirror. Like, you can be. Well, something I had to like stop myself from doing, because I used to be very like reactionary because like to people's energy, and like if people were showing up, rude, let's say just rude, I would be rude instantly back instead of like taking my own pause, because I'm just like, I think most of us are like this, like we would naturally react to somebody else's like, energy.
Yeah.
But like mine was, I think, just a little too intense. And so I had to learn how to like, basically what I think we're all doing is just protecting our energy from, from other energies, or allowing it, whatever, So I think I've had to learn how to like fine tune my like reactions and the whatever I'm reading, and not to be so like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is I've spent the past couple years by myself in terms of like romance.
Yeah.
Because I realized, having gone from relationship to relationship and kind of just experiencing myself in those situations, and then having an awareness of kind of the growth that I needed to do and wanted to do, and kind of the kind of person I wanted to be, I realized that I needed to spend a couple years to get so centered and strong in who I am and how I interact with people, that when I do date again, and I am dating, but like when I do get into something, I'll be able to kind of like hold my frame.
Yeah.
No matter if they are an anxious person or if they're a reactive person, or, because before I wasn't like that. It was like they affected me a lot.
Yeah.
But now I feel like I could be in something with somebody and they can kind of like be themselves, and it's not going to affect me.
Yeah.
Yep. But I needed years to work on that.
Oh, of course, yeah. Especially you're probably intuitive and sensitive, and it's it can get, especially being around a lot of people all the time. Like you have to learn how to balance your own energy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How are you with reading when you're DJing? Reading the crowd?
Reading the crowd?
Yeah.
Oh, pretty good. I think so. Yeah, I think it's probably in me from, I used to do musical theater and stuff when I was a
Me
kid.
too.
Oh, cool.
I went to college for it.
Oh, yeah.
DFA.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I got like a minor in it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think reading the crowd is something I've always been able to do. And like, I was a front woman of a band. That's always been the vibe. So like, DJing is similar, but only you have your song sections and stuff. So yeah, if the vibe is, if they're like not vibing something, then I'll change it up and turn it up, turn it up to 10.
Yeah.
Whatever they need. Yeah.
Do you bring multiple playlists and kind of directions you can go in? How do you prepare for your sets?
I mean, NYU, so it's kind of nice to be doing all these shows because they're all different.
Yeah.
And like I'm on tour with AC Slater right now, and that's all like night-based stuff, and it's more like heavy and whoobs. And but before that I did Splash House, and that was more like daytime.
Yeah.
And so, over time you just build up your crates, your little digital crates.
Yeah.
And then like, I'm learning so much about about that in general. And so like I have like I have decent decks.
Yeah.
I have a decent playlist everywhere. Yeah.
I learned from probably maybe a semi-traumatic experience to prepare. Now I have different directions I can go in. But my first ever DJ gig was on Fire Island. And I was so excited. And it was doing the tea dance, the daytime tea dance. And the guy who booked me, he was like, okay, we want you to spin high energy dance music. That's such a vague term, high energy dance music.
I know.
So I'm like, okay, high energy dance music. So I prepared like inappropriate, like festival drops, stuff that I wouldn't even play at maybe like a festival or or maybe Pride,
it was like
huge
EDM, like big room style.
Like literally, And so I prepared these huge festival drop because I was like, that's high energy dance music. I think that's what they want. And so but I didn't prepare anything else. That's all I brought.
Oh, shoot.
So I come to find out what they meant by high energy dance was literally like Britney Spears Till the World Ends.
Yes.
Rihanna,
pop dance.
Only girl in the world.
Yes.
Pop, high energy pop is what they meant.
Pop dance, yes.
So I show up, I start playing my set, and within 30 minutes, the entire place cleared out. Like it was packed when I started.
No way.
But the whole place cleared out.
Oh no.
And I was mortified.
Yeah.
But they were sweet, but they were like, this is the lowest bar sales we've ever had.
Oh no.
Yeah.
They told you that?
Yeah.
Oh no.
They did, but actually that was such a blessing.
Yeah.
That stuck with me because I was like, I don't ever want to feel this again.
True.
And now I'm obsessed with reading the crowd. Like I'm so good at it.
Yeah, good.
And it's a game to me.
Yeah.
I'll put a song on and within seconds I can read the crowd and I know who's there, how they're responding to it. Do I let this play? Do we go in another direction? Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's because of that.
Yeah. Oh, that's good.
So
that's good.
it's good.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. Reading the crowd it's tricky because then you also have to be willing to like see yourself and like what you're doing, you know?
Yeah, it's like you want to play for them, but also for you.
Yeah, no, yeah, it's like a half. It's like half and half.
Do you try to balance it?
It depends on the scenario. Like if I know it's like an hour set and I only have like, an hour, and then like it's my time to shine type of thing.
Yeah.
Then I will play like all my like greatest hits or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But stuff that I know people will be engaged with. Like I do sing-alongs. And then my songs, and like it usually balance out so nicely. And like I think my music is always gonna be some version of like house feeling dance pop, you know what I mean? And then with some like heaviness, So I don't usually have trouble when like sometimes I will make a curated set and I won't like deviate from it. But but then there are times when you're playing like 90 minutes and you want to like you want to like spice it up and then,
I'm so happy to see you up there. When I see
you.
videos of you, like genuinely, I'm so happy for you.
Thank you.
I just adore you, your energy and everything that you're doing, and I love to see that. And I'm really happy that you're stepping into it.
Thank you.
You deserve it. You really do.
Thank you. It's nerve-wracking, but I'm glad I'm doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The EP, let's talk about it some more. Patchwork.
Sure.
We talked a little bit about In Your Eyes.
Yes.
The other song's Vibration. I'm curious actually about the spelling or the I don't know, is it grammar or the
spelling of it.
The visuals?
Or the way that it's I know what you mean.
In Your Eyes, in is all lowercase.
Yeah.
Your Eyes is all uppercase.
Yeah.
What was the thought behind that?
So it actually starts backwards. It starts with vibration first.
My notes here are just songs I want to cover. These aren't the order of the EP.
Oh no, I mean it's just I'm just saying it starts backwards, which is why that's that way.
What starts backwards?
The spelling, like the reason why In Your Eyes is that way is because of vibration.
Oh.
So for vibration, I spelled it all uppercase and spaced out.
Yeah, there's a space in between each letter.
And the only reason why I did that for In Your Eyes because I was like, let's just do it again. And
it looks cool.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So I got that from a couple of things. I know that in dance music, like no one really takes any like risks sometimes, and it could be all the same.
Yeah.
And I also wanted people to see like I'm an artist in a way.
Yeah.
And another thing is that Willow Smith, have you heard that song? What's it called? Transparent Soul.
No.
Okay.
But I love the title.
So all of her the letters are lowercase and spaced out.
Oh,
And so I was like, God, I want people to see me.
I love that.
Yeah. So yeah, it was just kind of like not a FU, but like, this is what I'm going to do. You know what I mean?
Like, I don't care if this is proper or the way it's done or not done.
Yeah.
I'm just doing this.
Yeah. I wanted to be seen, and I knew it would be seen.
There's something about making a decision and just going for it.
Yeah.
And putting it out there.
Yeah.
Do you feel vulnerable when you do that, or?
Both ways. Sometimes I feel super confident. Sometimes I feel vulnerable. Like, just really quick. And I'm so proud that I did that because everyone talks about the spelling. And then that song ended up going #1. And it's just like all this like, like
it worked.
Yeah,
it worked.
Yeah. And then In Your Eyes, I did the same. I just did something cute because of that. Yeah.
Yeah.
And talking about vulnerability though, like when I felt vulnerable kind of putting out the song with me and Anabel.
The new one.
Yeah, the new
Anything
one.
for You.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because both her and I are obsessed with pop music, and we're both vocalists, and even though like I'm sometimes a masked lesbian, whatever, I still love cotton candy and rainbows, and like I'm very like girly too. So it's just like I and being a part of such a male dominated industry, like you just want credibility all the time, but with that song I was just like, let's just do this, and it's like fun, upbeat, and it turned out people loved it. And so I'm happy about that one.
And that song, it's about friendship, right? It's about being there for each other.
Yes, exactly
right?
that, yes. And
I love the line. There's a lyric about I can't live your life for you, but I'll be by your side. Yes. I'm like, that's a great lyric.
Yeah, good. Thank you.
I can't live your life for you.
Oh, thank you for noticing that. Yeah, thank you.
I love that lyric.
Yeah, we so we met each other in 2021 for Day Trip, and like she was the person who kind of made me really like hone in my DJ skills, because she was like, yo girl, just DJ, like there's no reason why you shouldn't be doing this, and then I was like, oh yeah, and it kind of like a light bulb went off, and I had already had my decks at home, but like I just didn't quite like take ownership of it yet, and then she like just helped me, and then we got into the studio maybe like a year later, or no, I don't know, maybe a few months after that, and we ended up writing a song about friendship. And now we've been friends for so long, and it's like we knew that we were going to be friends. We wrote the song about friendship before our friendship even developed. Yeah. It's so cool.
Yeah, so cool. And the vulnerability element, is that because it's such a poppy song?
Yeah.
Or is it kind of because of the two women?
It's a kind of a lot of things. It's like, I've even myself, I've been a part of the boys club too, like just always a part of around dudes. And I don't know, I especially taking in your own project, you always want to be accepted and liked. And, everyone's playing tech house right now. Everyone's making tech house. And, I just was going back on the fence, or, just going back and forth being like, is this too poppy? I was like, yes, it is, but whatever. Like, I don't know. It's just, and then with her just like blessing, and she's iconic, obviously, like she's been in dance music for a long time as well. And I think at the end of the day, it just makes sense, and it's a very powerful statement that two vocalists in dance music came together to just do a duet and make music. You know what I mean? Like, it's really powerful, and I think it says a lot to the dance community.
How do you feel about it now?
I love it.
Right?
I actually listen to it.
Y'all are posting all these cute little videos dancing, and I love it. It's so very perfect for summer.
Yes, and it's a great summer song. For sure.
And in this whole like Barbie movement, this moment, the Barbie moment, is great. Yes. Synergy for your anything for you.
I didn't even know that was happening, but yes. Yeah.
I get comments about my hair right now. People are like, oh, tell me it kind of looked like Ken, but they're like, did you do that because of the Barbie movie? And I was like, well, I've been blonde since October, so no. But maybe just lucky timing.
Yeah. Totally. I think so. You're Ken, we're Barbie. It's fine.
Yeah. Me Without You and Real Love, these are the other songs on the album. I'm curious, for On the Wall, what is some of the lyrics on the Wall, the rhythm is enough. That's the only thing that gets me through. Mm-hmm. I need the rhythm, but I don't need you. Mm-hmm. That kind of reminds me of the Lady Gaga comment where she says like she chose her career over a man because she said your career won't wake up one day and tell you it doesn't love you anymore. Mm-hmm. There's kind of like a more of like a and not stability, but there's more of like assuredness.
Like
maybe
in your craft, or like being
Like
having faith in your craft.
she kind of felt like maybe she has a little more control over that.
Oh, for sure, absolutely.
But this got me thinking about like the rhythm is all you need, and I was like, I wonder what Kaleena's earliest memory of music is, and like what's your relationship? What was your relationship with music as a kid, where like rhythm got you through, or just what are your earliest memories of it?
To be fair, my mom, she played a lot of records when I was young. I remember we lived in an apartment, and first of all, my grandmother, she was a pianist and a choir director.
Okay.
And I didn't really know her too much, but my mom would always talk about her and then play like some of her songs, and then like play a lot of like, she played like Michael Jackson records, she played Prince records, she played like rock records, like just all these different, I remember we had vinyl everywhere. So those are like my earliest memories, is like my mom just literally, she loved it so much. And like she like couldn't quite sing as well, but she definitely was like obsessed with like music. Yeah.
When were you singing and writing?
Since I was little, honestly. There's like a story of that my dad told me that we went to we were going to Vegas, and I sang the whole entire time. It was like a 9-hour ride.
Oh my gosh.
And, like nobody wanted to shut me up because they didn't want to like dampen my spirit, you know, because you know, like kids, they remember like the earliest things, and then
very impressionable.
Like, and it was with my stepmom, and my stepmom, she was like, I felt odd to say something, but you like sang the whole entire time, and everyone was going crazy, but like we just didn't want to tell you, so you know what I mean. But
so they encouraged you.
Yeah, exactly. And like, you know, my cousins used to tell me like to stand on the table and sing Twinkle Twinkle Little Star, and I was like, why do they want me to do this, you know? But it's because I was always singing by myself, you know.
Yeah.
So
you were getting these little signals from a young age of like, hey, this is something unique about you.
Yeah.
Do more of this.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Like explore this.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And when did you start writing?
Well, I used to write a lot of poetry when I was a kid, like starting at like 8. I used to like be in like what's it called, little contests and stuff.
Okay.
Yeah. And I think just over time I just was writing until I was like in a band, and you know, then just kind of formed into writing lyrics. But
yeah, and you didn't listen to dance music growing up because you were listening to Prince and you were doing rock and stuff.
We definitely did not listen to dance music.
Did you like it, or were you just not exposed to it?
I wasn't exposed to it.
Because I wasn't exposed to it, and I didn't like it at first because I didn't know it.
Yeah.
I didn't understand it until I was exposed to it.
Yeah. Then I didn't. No, we listened to everything other than that.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, literally every style of music. I listened, and then like I went through a jazz phase. I went through like a hardcore rock metal phase. I went through every single phase and didn't even think about dance.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think it was just the community I live in. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But then when I heard dance really was when pop music started to incorporate it.
Yeah.
Like
there was
Rihanna, Chris
yeah,
Brown,
yeah.
Neo. Yeah. Like
that's when I was in college at the time for musical theater, and I started bartending at a like the main straight club, dance club. And so I was exposed to it just being there, and that's when the Chris Browns and the Just Dance had just come out. Mm-hmm. So I started to hear it. Yeah.
And then Calvin Harris and David Guetta. They were at the biggest at the time, but having
David Guetta.
Artists, yeah. I honestly didn't even know about it, and then I like heard a little bit like subcultures, and I didn't like it at first because I was just like, oh, it's just like repetitive.
Yeah, it all sounded the same to me.
Yeah. And then you get into it, and you're like, oh my god, then you're crazy obsessed.
Yeah, and then you see the vibe, the energy.
Yeah.
The love, and you start kind of going down the rabbit hole of it. I loved the energy because I was a singer-songwriter at the time, and I wasn't releasing music, and I felt like something was missing. Mm. And then when I discovered dance music and I started making dance music, I'm like, oh, this is what... Because the sky's the limit in terms of sounds and melodies and what you can do with the songs. Like I was like, this is it.
I know it took me over. It consumed me. It consumed my life. It
did, yeah.
Yeah.
So we have a few minutes left. What do you want? Is there anything you want people to know about the EP?
About the EP specifically?
Yeah.
Honestly, it's a damn good EP, and it's a collection of a lot of different styles within dance music. You know, like Got Me Without You is kind of like a disco leaning song, and yeah, I think for this first run, I just wanted to kind of just show people where I'm at, and like that I like a lot of different things, and that we can go anywhere, you know. And it's an attempt to lay an early foundation of like don't box me in, and expect and like kind of like expect, of course, still electronic sonics, but like we might open up that door a bit.
Yeah, but you wanted to set that precedent from the beginning of like, I'm not going to just be a one-trick pony or do one thing.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
But then I already have the next round of music started, and it's gonna lean a little bit heavier into more like gospel stuff, but still,
Yay!
Still with my own version of that.
Yeah. Okay. I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah.
Okay. It was a pleasure having you on the show.
Thank you. Thank you. It was really wonderful. Yeah.
Adobe family, if you're listening right now, I want you to know that the video version of this interview will be available on Spotify and Apple Podcasts starting the next day after this airs. So you'll be able to watch the full video of this. Check out Kaleena on social medias. What are your handles?
My handles everywhere are Kaleena Zanders, at Kaleena Zanders, and anything.
Yeah.
Well, it's not Twitter anymore, it's X, but and then we got
It's
Threads, and then Instagram, TikTok. It's all just my name.
Yeah. Okay. If you're watching this on streaming right now, the video, we're linking to Kaleena's pages in the description, so you can just click on that. Check out the EP Patchwork.
Yes.
And the new song Anything for You.
Yes, with Anabel Englund. I love it. It's summer bops.
Yay, Kaleena.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay. We'll see you next time on Adobe Radio.